On a Monday morning in Connecticut, in front of 3,000 fans including a Norwegian World Cup soccer contingent, doing a rowing celebration on the 18th green, Viktor Hovland made the most important putt of his season and watched the world number one miss his. After 15 months without a win, 146 starts, 4 runner-up finishes for Scotty Scheffler in the same calendar year, and a drought that had begun to define him more than his talent, Hovland finally broke his silence about what has really been going on. Here's the full story. The week at TPC River Highlights began without much fanfare around Hovland's name. He was there, he was ranked in the top 20 in the world, he was a recognized presence in the field, but the conversation around the Travelers Championship was dominated by Scotty Scheffler, and the question of whether the world number one could finally close out a win he had been denied 4 times since January. Hovland was background noise. By Monday morning, he was the champion. He led after every round of regulation. He shot 63 in the first round, establishing himself at the top of the leaderboard, with the kind of ball striking that Scheffler himself had recently praised, saying Hovland hit it so solidly every time that it was quite impressive. Hovland held that advantage through 54 holes, arriving at the final round with a 1-shot lead and the opportunity to end the drought cleanly, without the need for drama. Golf had other ideas. On Sunday, the drama was relentless. Hovland and Scheffler found themselves locked together at the top, neither able to separate from the other, the round grinding on under a gathering storm that eventually forced play to be suspended. When the rain delay came, Hovland was 2 shots behind Scheffler with the back 9 left to play. He sat in the clubhouse for 80 minutes and did something he has been trying to learn how to do. He settled down, reset, and came back out ready, rather than rattled. Quick pause. If you think Viktor Hovland is back and ready to make a serious run at the rest of this season, type "he's back" in the comments. If you think this was a 1-week spark and Scheffler is still the clear dominant force, type 1 week. I read every single one. The back 9 after the delay was when Hovland found another level. He made back-to-back birdies to erase the 2-shot deficit and draw level with Scheffler. They traded pars from there, neither able to find the decisive blow, until the light faded to the point where play could not safely continue. The decision was made to return Monday morning for a 1-hole playoff on the par 4 18th, with the whole outcome coming down to a single hole after 5 days of competition. On Monday, both players hit the fairway. Scheffler, playing with the precision that has made him the most dominant player in the world, hit his approach to 4 feet. The crowd erupted. A world number one, 4 feet from the hole, in a playoff he had manufactured by holing an 8-foot par putt in near darkness the night before. It looked for all the world like Scheffler was about to add a 5th win to a perfect season that only lacked the results to match the performance. Hovland walked up to his ball, 6 feet from the cup, downhill, with a sharp left-to-right break. He knocked it in. His birdie putt barely caught the inside right of the cup, the kind of make that requires both skill and nerve in equal measure. And then, needing only a 4-footer to win, Scheffler pulled his putt slightly left, caught the edge, and watched it roll 7 feet by the hole. Viktor Hovland was the 2026 Travelers Champion. What Hovland said afterward is what makes this story genuinely compelling, because it was more honest and more revealing than most post-victory press conferences ever are. He has spent 15 months trying to understand the gap between how good he knows he can be and the results he has been producing. He acknowledged it plainly, saying he knows how good he can get, that he keeps pushing himself and wanting to improve, and that when he falls short it really makes him angry. That combination of self-belief and frustration, knowing your ceiling and being maddened by the distance between it and where you currently stand, is one of the most honest descriptions of elite athletic experience anyone in golf has offered this season. He also talked about learning to go easier on himself, about accepting that golf is a game that drives everyone nuts, that the shared misery of the sport is only so comforting, and that the frustration does not get smaller just because it is universal. These are the words of a player who has done genuine psychological work during the drought, who has tried to separate his self-worth from his weekly results in a way that the game constantly makes difficult. The win at Travelers is the first evidence that work may be paying off. There was also a profoundly personal dimension to the victory that Hovland was open about. He had thought about it early in the week, knowing his parents had traveled from Norway to watch him compete. His mother was there at the 18th green on Monday morning when the winning putt dropped. His father had never yet watched him win in person. Standing on the green after the playoff, Hovland acknowledged that his mother had been there to share the moment and said he could not be happier, the emotion in his voice unmistakable. The image of a son winning in front of his mother for the first time, while a group of Norwegian World Cup fans did a rowing celebration around the 18th hole, is the kind of thing that makes sports genuinely human. The Norwegian fan contingent deserves its own mention, because it added something entirely unexpected to the Monday morning atmosphere. A group of Norwegian fans in Connecticut, to support their national team at the nearby FIFA World Cup, were drawn to the golf course for the playoff, and when Hovland won, they brought him in on their signature rowing celebration. Hovland, who had just beaten the best player in the world in a playoff, ended his victory by rowing with his countrymen on the 18th green of TPC River Highlands. It was, by any measure, one of the most joyful scenes the sport has produced this year. Now consider what this result means for Scheffler, because it adds another chapter to what is becoming one of the more compelling storylines of the 2026 PGA Tour season. Scheffler has now lost 4 times as a runner-up this year, 2 of them in playoffs. His only win came at the American Express in January, and since then he has compiled 8 top 5 finishes, 16 top 10 results in signature events, and a streak of 35 consecutive top 25 finishes that is the second longest in the last 40 years, behind only Tiger Woods. By almost any statistical measure he is having a generational season, and yet the wins refuse to come. At the Travelers, Scheffler hit what he described as some of the best ball striking of his entire season. He made an 8-foot par putt in near darkness to force a playoff. He then hit his approach to 4 feet on the playoff hole, giving himself what should have been a comfortable conversion, and the putt did not go in. He described it simply, saying he may have hit it a little firmer than intended, that it looked like it got quite far by the hole, and that he had played it outside the hole and hit down his line, the speed just a touch off. He expressed disappointment before immediately pivoting to complimenting Hovland's work ethic and talent in the gracious way that has always characterized how Scheffler carries himself in defeat. But the pattern is real, and it is growing. The best player in the world is not winning. He is performing brilliantly and not winning. He is posting the kind of statistics that would define most players' careers as their greatest season and not winning. The Grand Slam he came to Shinnecock to claim slipped away 2 weeks ago. The Travelers' playoff win that should have been his slipped away this morning. The gap between Scheffler's play and his results is one of the genuinely strange phenomena of modern golf, and it does not have an obvious explanation. For Hovland, this week is the beginning of something he has been trying to rebuild for 15 months. He is the 2026 Travelers champion. He beat the world number 1 in a playoff on the biggest course stage available, outside a major. He moved to number 20 in the FedEx Cup standings and put himself firmly inside the Tour Championship conversation. He did it with his parents watching, with Norwegian fans rowing beside him, and with a frankness about the journey that has earned him genuine affection across the golf world. When Viktor Hovland broke his silence after winning the Travelers Championship, he did not give the polished, managed victory speech of a player performing for the cameras. He told the truth about what the drought felt like, about how much losing still makes him angry, about the psychological work he has been doing to stay level, and about what it meant to his mother to be standing on that 18th green. That honesty, combined with a 7-foot birdie putt on the biggest stage available, is as good a statement as anyone in professional golf has made today. If this gave you the full story of what happened in Cromwell this morning, drop a like before you scroll away. It tells the algorithm to push this to other golf fans following the season, and subscribe, because this is only Monday, and the season is just getting more interesting.